many of you in this room think that I can sell the contents of this bag for 200 marks? Nobody knew. It was a brown paper bag, and I raised my hand right away. He says, Herr Altman, you think I can sell the content of this sack for 200 marks? And I said, well, I have to be honest. I don't know whether you can do it, but I know I can do it. And the whole place came unglued. I said, then I know I can sell what's in that for 200 marks. He says, how would you do that? I said, well, first thing is I got to know my audience. I got to find people with garden, because I happen to know that that particular poop has a lot of nitrogen, a lot of things that people with roses really need. And you totally understood the lesson here.
In addition to being a podcast host, I'm also a small business attorney, mostly providing legal services in New York and New Jersey. With over 3 decades of experience, we can handle most transactional issues. So if you're watching the show and you encounter some sort of legal issue, reach out to us and visit our website, beinhakerlaw.com. Thanks for tuning into the show and for continuing to support us. Okay, welcome back to the show. We got another great episode, another great guest. You're all going to meet Wayne in a moment, hear about all of his businesses. He's a vet, so I thank him for his service. If you are listening on your favorite directory and you can leave us a review, please leave us a 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, you can like us, subscribe, ring some bells, scream, yell, whatever you want to do just to support us so we can keep bringing really great guests like Wayne today. So let me get on with today's credits, and we'll meet Wayne in a moment. All right, so Wayne Altman. I like your name, Wayne, because it's easy to pronounce. I had a guy in this morning, I couldn't even pronounce his name. But I have Beinhaker, so people may have trouble with that, so I shouldn't complain. But I appreciate you joining me. You are where? In Texas, California?
I'm in California right now. Yeah,
got it. So it's
Rancho
like
Cucamonga, California.
So it's like noon there? 12 o'clock?
It is noon here, yeah.
Okay, 3 o'clock
absolutely.
here. Very good. I guess the weather's better than it is here.
Well, look, our weather has been, crazy for the past few months.
Yeah.
It's been nuts.
Nuts.
I moved here because I don't like weather.
Yeah, you got it all.
So they better shape up or I'm out of here.
I know. New Jersey's gone the other way. We have no weather. Now we have no snow. Everything's mild. It doesn't change.
Yeah, that's my jam right
Yes,
there.
you can move back
I
there.
am perfectly happy with one season.
Right.
And that can maintain, go for the rest of my life.
Well, Wayne, I do thank you for coming on. I mentioned before that you're a vet, so thank you very much for your service. And we're going to talk about business and entrepreneurship today and all the stuff that you do. I think you told me, and I think it's in your bio, right, that you were either grew up in Texas and you were either born in California and raised in Texas, or the opposite of those two, right?
No, that's the one right
Okay,
there.
good.
I was born in California. My 3rd birthday, my parents gifted me with the greatest gift you could give your kid, and that is pick them up and move them to Texas. They will never beat that out of me.
Right.
I came back you talk about accident.
Yeah.
I came back to California by accident, really. And then my staying in California was by accident.
Got it. All right, good. So maybe we could go back then, not as far back as when you were 3, but
sure.
Your background and, what you did after the military and how you got into business. Because I know you sold something like 12, 14 businesses or have run 14 businesses or whatever, plus Melody Clouds we're doing. So maybe we can run through that whole thing and people learn a lot of
for sure.
lessons that you learned over the years.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Start day one. What was the first business that you got involved with and how did you do it?
So it's funny. The first business I ever opened, I was watching an Oprah Winfrey special on entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And it was very funny. The person that they had on there was a couple, and they ran a business in hazardous material cleanup.
Okay.
Meaning they would go in and clean up after someone
Like
who
a Serve
passed
Pro,
away.
Pure Clean type of company, right?
Yep. And my best friend, his father owned Southern Janitorial.
Oh,
And I thought,
okay.
man, I got an in on this. So I went and gave him a list of had him make me a list of everything that I would need to go in and clean up after, accidents or things like that.
Right. So you figured you had a customer already you could start with.
The first thing I did was I needed to know, hey, what do I have to do in order to make this work? Is this a viable thing around where I live? Because I wasn't aware of anything around where I live that would help people like that. So Daryl made a list of everything, we got plenty of fluids and things on our body, and we won't talk about that. But, he gave me a list of everything I would need, and I carried around this freaking huge toolkit full of all these cleaners.
Yeah.
And then I made cards and I passed them out to all the police officers, and they were very happy to give my cards to people so they didn't have to clean up after their relative.
So it was mostly when relatives died is when it was. Yeah. And all of the fluids in your body basically drain out when you die.
Oh my God. I've got some stories, man. It was the worst. It was the best business.
Right.
Very profitable.
But
I ran into some really bad stuff.
I can imagine. Oh, you
got to think ahead when you open a business. You got to think ahead. Okay, do I really want to do this business?
Right. How old were you at this point?
I just gotten out of the Army.
Okay.
So I went to cooking school, Army. I was 24, 25 years old when look, I'm not somebody I can't work for other people very well.
Right. I can tell
you know what I mean? There's a lot of us out there.
You're free
spirit. A lot of people. Right. If you know that you can't work for other people very well, if you always see a better way of doing something.
Don't work for other people.
What are you doing?
Right. Because it's going to be more frustrating for you and the guy you're working for.
Right. I will point out that when this country was founded, 10% of the population worked for other people. 90% had their own businesses.
Like whether they were blacksmiths,
farmers, whether they were a blacksmith, farmer, carpenter, whatever it was, whatever we did, trapper, hunter, whatever. In 1986, there was a thing of a little blip on the news that number had switched. So it was 10% of the people worked for themselves, 90% worked for other people.
Now we have companies and industry, and it was different. But I bet you,
and a huge population,
there's been a big shift back though since the pandemic. People are doing their own thing now. They got Zoom.
It's going back the other way.
Yeah,
Mitch, it's going back the other way.
Yeah.
We've made it so easy now for people to open a business and basically fail their way, to success.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was just talking to someone the other day, and they was like, yeah, I worked for a while in corporate, and I just couldn't deal with the fact that every time you wanted to get something done, you had to have 4 meetings and 26 calls and put in this request, and then you wait, and it was too late by the time you got the idea. So did you ever work for anybody? You came out of the military.
Oh, I've worked for tons of people.
Oh, okay.
But briefly. Right. The pandemic was the last time. Well, I mean, seriously. Yeah. And it's neither a badge of honor to me,
right?
But it's definitely not. Go ahead, take your best shot,
right? Of course.
What I mean?
Well, you have an outgoing personality. You got a lot of energy too. Yeah. I'm sure you attract people who'll be like, you know what? I want Wayne to work for my company, and then every once in a while you fall into the trap that goes, all right, I'll come work for you, and then you're like, what am I doing? I've done that before.
My wife is. Everybody loves my wife, right? Everybody loves my wife. My wife's great. I'm at about 70-30. 70% of people do not like my energy. They do not like the way right? I overwhelm them. I'm on them like a hive of bees.
That's so funny.
It's not a problem. You got to know yourself. 30% of people love me, man.
I'm surprised it's 70-30. I would think it'd be 70 the other way, no?
It's a rough estimate. I'm just saying. It feels like it. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
And we have 3 daughters, and 2 of them are 70-30s, and one of them, my youngest, is everybody loves me.
There you go.
And she goes through life, and everyone loves her.
Right.
So
some people just she's going to have a lot less stress in life. Just take
it. Looks like it. It looks like it. My wife has a lot less stress.
So you're 25. You didn't really have a lot of business skills, although you did have military training and this and that. What happened with that business? How did you get it started? How well did it do? What did you learn?
I very quickly realized that scrubbing up after people, their various, and especially when they haven't been found for a few days.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right. I very quickly realized, okay, and you want to scale. You're always looking to scale. So here's what I did. I came home from, partying with some friends one night, and it was late, and I looked across the street. I was in Houston, Texas at the time.
Got it.
And directly across from my apartment was Rose Hospital.
Okay.
And I saw the shift change at Rose Hospital with all the orderlies. And a light bulb
It's like
went
the
off
middle
in
of the
my
night,
head.
right?
What's that?
It's like the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah,
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, oh my God, these guys, I wonder how much they make. Because I bet you Rose Hospital isn't going to pay their orderlies, because that's who was coming out of there.
Right.
You could tell who they wasn't doctors.
Right.
You could see the people coming out of there.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they get paid. And I bet, so look, I didn't even get out of my clothes. You know what I mean? I ran directly across there. I met with a couple of the guys. I said, hey, how much do you make? Well, we make about $18 an hour, which was pretty good wage at the time.
Yeah.
I said, hey, what? I'll give you 25. Come to work for me. And it'll be a part-time gig to start with, but I'm going to scale this quick enough that it'll be just fine.
Okay.
And it did. And we killed it.
And they were
Our
happy
first
because
year,
they're doing still disgusting things, but they're getting paid a lot more money.
Yeah, and they're used to it.
Right.
They knew how to be. Look, they'd already been through all someone else trained them in how to handle all that.
Sure.
I didn't have to worry about it,
lucky
buddy.
that you lived across the street from Rose Hospital.
Exactly. You talk about accidents.
Yeah, no.
You talk about accidents.
Happenstance. There's no question about it. It happens all the time. Yeah.
It's how you react to those
Right. You
things.
recognize the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be awake.
Yep.
You got to be looking. You got to be awake to your surroundings.
Yeah.
And the second thing I learned about that was you cannot go into it. You have to be altruistic. In other words, look, I couldn't go in there and, okay. And this guy blurted out $18 an hour.
Right.
I could have said, well, look, you have a few more hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I went big. I said, hey, look, I give you 25. I really want to help you with their situation. There wasn't one of the people that I talked to that turned me down.
Now, you knew 25 you can make money at that point?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. For sure. Because I knew that I could adjust my prices to meet that.
Right, because you were in a marketplace where people are like, please get this body out of my house.
Please, grandma is laying in the kitchen.
Right, we're not going to
don't want to do it.
Right.
Right. I had people.
Good business. It's a good business. People can't shop the price. Right.
It was amazing. And I had people that would thank me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
by the way,
this is a hard time for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing something for someone that they really don't have any business doing.
Right. And emotionally, they can't even do.
Come on. I met
You're better than the
funeral
home. The funeral home, you could still shop around. The guy's dead. Where's he going to go? But this body's in the house draining liquids, and they need to get it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Got to go right now. Yeah. Yeah. And it's also something that you can't shop around with a whole lot because, you know what I mean? They just remove grandma. They take the body.
Yeah,
but
you didn't
other than that,
they didn't do the cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you're 25. So
small town in Texas.
Okay.
Very quickly, word got around that this is what I was doing. I started getting business from everywhere, not just that kind of cleanup too, by the way.
Right. People were like, oh, you do this. We have this problem. So we're back up.
Grocery stores would have me come in.
Got it.
It grew very, very quickly.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. And then I started Midway Mortgage, a mortgage company.
Brokering mortgages. You didn't originate your loan.
Yes. Basically what happens, a long story, but what happened was I met someone, they knew that I had this interest in credit and finance. I learned, I lobbied the state of Texas for home equity lending.
Okay.
And yeah, it's the only time my father and I ever went, sideways on something. He was very against it. And I was like, hey, look, you own a car and you just drive it. You're not using the trunk space.
Right.
You need to start,
so Texas
you need to
didn't allow home equity loans. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Home equity loans, lines of credit, that kind of stuff. In Texas at the time, you could not borrow against a home. They were all homesteaded.
Wow.
And so we changed those laws, and now people can use their home for more. They can educate their children, weddings,
Right, whatever. It's equity.
To protect their
Can't do anything with
investment
dirt when you're standing on it.
Yeah. So that went on for a while. And when I still owned Midway, and my grandfather passed away in California. And I went to the funeral. My mom and dad and I went to the funeral. My grandma was very upset, obviously. They'd been married for 60 years. And she made a comment. She didn't know what she was going to do.
Right.
I was single. I said, you know what? I'm going to sell the mortgage company.
You had already sold the cleanup company at this point?
Yeah, at that point, I had already. Yep.
Got it.
To the first guy that I talked to at Rose Hospital, the first guy that I approached with this. Yes, he's now working for me and got him out of that job. He's now a business owner. I think he's still a business owner. This is 20 some years ago.
Yeah, he changed his life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is also something that you need to start paying attention to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can affect people's lives on a core level if you give them the tools and help them and be an example to them in doing your own thing and really love what you're doing.
Right. Who's the sales trainer who said if you can have anything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want or need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar, one of those guys.
Yeah. Genius.
Yeah.
And it's totally true. Look, right now as we sit, most of my job is service to other people. That's what Melody Clouds is really all about.
Okay.
When people find out what I charge for this service, they freak. They cannot believe that I can do what I'm doing at the price point that I'm doing it. And that's part of the thing, But anyway,
okay.
So,
but couldn't you have kept the mortgage company in Texas and opened a second office in California?
Well, actually, no, because and this is a very big lesson for me. So I had hooked up with someone who had built in Texas. Mm-hmm. You could build a home to 80%, bring someone in at no down payment, and use the 20% as sweat equity. So that what you would normally. What's that?
You didn't have to put hard cash.
No, yeah, right. These are homes that look like it too.
Right.
So the opportunity was I would go in and Mitch, I would have to go in these neighborhoods at 4:30 in the morning.
Why?
Because people would be waiting outside their home with their documents in their hand, waiting to see me.
Really?
Yes. I had ladies cooking breakfast for their husbands would run out as I drove by and hand me 1003s and pay stubs and begging me, please help us with this house. I walked into homes that were missing. They were all pier and beam construction, which is the cinder block houses you see.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And there would be holes in the floor where this woman told me, this is Texas, by the way. Okay. That's why I love Texas so much.
Texas is like another country sometimes, Yeah.
This woman looked me in the face and she said, you see that hole over there? I can't keep food in this house because the raccoons will come through the hole in that floor and eat all my food.
You're kidding.
So I have to buy food every day.
So as soon as she's out of the house, they would come in and eat the food.
Yeah. She was living for God knows how long with raccoons coming through the floor of your house, right? Eating your food. Now I have 3 animals eat up all the food in my house, but they're my kids,
So they were looking for home equity lines of credit that they could take the equity out and rebuild their home.
Here's the genius. So I would do a Title I loan, right? I had a buddy of mine, Glenn Fountain. He did construction. So I brought him in. I said, hey, Glenn, what would it take? We got a crew of guys that would go around the neighborhood. We would do a Title I loan. And on my payroll was a FHA inspector. And he would give me a list of everything that needed to be done to this house to get an FHA loan.
Got it.
So we would get a Title I loan, right? Hard money loan. They would give me the money to fix the house. I would then roll that into what they owed on the house, lower their interest rates enough that they were paying less money and had a finished house.
Well, that's great stuff. American dream.
It worked like a charm until, and here's another lesson. Here's another lesson.
Okay.
When money is raining on you, and I mean you are up to your neck in money that you did not even earn,
right?
Do not be greedy.
Yeah, because it'll all come back to bite you in the end.
Enjoy the shower.
Right.
But whatever you do, do not be greedy.
Right. Don't keep taking it.
The owner of those homes, and there were neighborhoods all over this part of Texas that this guy did this with.
Got it.
Came into my office one day with his wife, and I had a check from the title company sitting on my desk.
Okay.
And he goes, whose money is that? And I said, that's my money. That money has my name on it. That's my money. Well, he saw the size of the check, and look, I was making money.
Right.
But he was getting back every dime that these people owed him, by the way. Dollar for dollar.
He was the hard money guy.
He was the guy that had built all of these homes and needed someone to cash him out.
Got it.
And I found the hard money guy.
Got it.
So I said, hey, none of this money is yours. You need to keep your eyes where it matters.
Right.
Ask your wife. She handles your books. Trust me, this is, we got you covered. Anyway, long story short, he boots me out of my own office. I was using one of his houses as an office. I grab all of my paperwork, and he boots me out. He's going to do it himself.
So he basically threw you out of your own company?
Yep. The state of Texas ended up convicting this guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised.
My mother gets a phone call. That's another lesson. My mother gets a phone call from the Texas Attorney General office. Asking, and I made a photocopy of every loan we did, and I made him call my mother and tell her that he goes, look, man, you kept great records. This is perfectly legit. I'm sorry to bother you, but you've given us a lot of evidence of this guy.
Right.
I said, now you're going to call my mother back. You're going to call my mom and tell her what you just told me. And he did. He did it.
Okay.
He's like, hey, sorry to scare you. Your son is a great businessman.
Yeah, right. This is all like Wayne's tied up into something. She wasn't. Yeah. So getting out of Texas.
I'd just gotten out of the Army. A few years ago. Yeah. Everything had been going great. And here's another lesson my father said. Because with me, he would say, Wayne, your brothers, they've got jobs. Your sister, she's got a job. With you, it's chicken one day, feathers the next. You know what I mean? You're eating, chicken one day, but you're sucking the feathers the next.
Yeah.
And
feast and
I kind of like that high wire.
You do?
I do. Yeah. I do. Now, it's not, look, he didn't get a chance to see what happens after all that.
Right. He just saw the feast and famine part of it. Yeah.
Right. And certainly I've never met anybody that was running businesses and doing it, correctly, in my view, there, you know what I mean, that did not have that period of time.
Yeah, of course.
So he did see that. That is something that he saw.
Yeah. I have plenty of friends whose parents never really saw them become successful, and they're very successful now. Yeah. So that brought you to California, and you're like, well, it's a good time to get out of Texas anyway, with all the stuff going on. Yeah,
look. I sold the loans that we did. Sold that company. I moved to California, started calling bingo for my grandmother. It was a great time for us. I didn't grow up, with her, but, as an adult, and helping her through that period of time, we had a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time at the beach. I went to work for AmeriQuest.
It was like a midlife retirement kind of. You're kind of working, kind of doing this. You're cash.
Yeah, I had some money in the bank. Yeah. I'm working for AmeriQuest. I'm helping them. I'm teaching, and then I met my wife.
Okay.
We started having kids.
Right. That'll do it.
About the time I wanted to go back to Texas.
Okay.
And I wrote 6 books.
6? I had trouble getting one out. It's coming out soon.
Oh, my gosh.
And I needed help. I had a co-author. My
first book I wrote was called Credit 101.
Okay.
And I vanity published it. I knew that a publisher I'm not Stephen King here. Okay.
Right.
So I'm gonna need to publish this book on my own. And by the way, that's part of my entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
I don't want to see someone else reaping the benefit of what I've done.
So you self-published the book.
Self-published first book cost me $10,000 to do.
Yeah, because it's not like today where you can get an on-demand type of publisher and you don't have to put
it was kind of that way, right? But I'm a sucker too. I've been known to look, man. I've been known to, I'll give you what I think you're worth. Okay, we're not going to argue over that. So guess how much money I made my first book?
I would think profit.
Yeah,
nothing.
Not a damn thing. Goose egg. I mean, bolo.
Like a calling
10
card.
grand out.
Right.
Look, to most people, that's life-changing money. That was to me.
Yeah.
My wife looked at me like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who loses 10 grand on something like that?
Right.
I said, you know what? I dusted myself off.
Well, so you didn't even make back the money you put in and break even? You lost. Nobody bought the book?
I made zero money.
Did you give
$0.
the book away? Nobody bought it?
Nothing. Eventually, to be fair, they did, mortgage companies around Southern California did start using that. Here's my mistake.
Just took a little while.
It did. Here's my mistake. I wrote Credit 101 as a textbook for loan officers to teach them how to read a credit report.
Okay.
That's not what was needed.
Okay. Know your market.
Got to know your market. You got to know who your audience is. You got to know who's going to read this thing.
Yeah.
And you got to present it to them in a way that's palatable. And that wasn't it.
Right.
So I've dusted myself off. I said, don't worry. I'm not this. It's meeting with a little bit of success in the mortgage community, helping loan officers actually learn how to read a credit report.
Right.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write Mortgage 101.
Okay.
Because what I've noticed now is you can read a credit report, but you don't know what product to put your customer in.
Okay.
Not everybody wants a 4-payment option loan.
Right.
Not everybody needs a 30-year fixed mortgage.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
So that was Credit 101. Now you're writing Mortgage 101.
Now I wrote Mortgage 101, and it cost me.
I see a theme here, but go ahead.
Yes. Well, you know what? You may know the end of the story. It cost me $8,000 to publish this book.
Okay. So you saved $2 right off the bat.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. That's a $2,000 lesson. Your boy ain't stupid.
Right.
We've established
You're
that.
going in the right direction.
How much money did I make on Mortgage 101?
I hesitate to say nothing. Zero bupkis.
Why would you hesitate? Who in the hell is going to buy a book on that, right?
Well,
and that's the thing.
It's not that I don't think nobody would buy it. It's just a small audience.
It's a very small, right? That's exactly right.
A lot of these mortgage people, besides reading a credit report, they probably don't read. So that's probably a problem too.
Yeah, most people that's not what they're interested in.
Right.
And you just said something. I want to share this with your audience. We're going to pick back up on this, but I want to go over here for a second. Okay. I was in Germany. I lived in Germany for 4.5 years in the Army. And I went to the University of Heidelberg, and I took an international business course, and the professor had a German Shepherd, very large German Shepherd.
Okay.
And he would go to the front. I had to learn to speak German in order to attend these lectures. Okay. And at the beginning, I put a recorder, and he allowed me to record his lectures because he knew I didn't speak the language very fluently.
And this was all in German?
All in German, yes.
You never spoken German before until you went over there?
Until I went there, yeah. I didn't know how to count, nothing. I learned in about 6 months how to have a conversation.
That's one of our largest bases in Europe, in Germany, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So we've got many of them, and at that time we had even more. We had tons.
I got it.
So he would bring this dog in every day, and one day he walks in and he puts a brown paper sack on his desk. Okay. The dog lays down by the desk, and he says, "How many of you in this room think that I can sell the contents of this bag for 200 marks?"
You didn't know what was in it.
Nobody knew. It was a brown paper bag. And I raised my hand right away. Raised my hand. Well, I sat in the front so I could get a good recording. So I didn't see what was going on in the back of me.
Right.
And there's got to be 75 people in this room.
Okay.
Your boy was the only one with his hand raised because he's the moron. You know what I mean? So the professor says, Herr Altman, and he says it in English.
Okay.
And this is when I found out that everyone else in the room spoke English.
Yeah, not surprising, right? Yeah.
He says, Herr Altman, you think I can sell the content of this sack for 200 marks? And I said, well, I have to be honest. I don't know whether you can do it, but I know I can do it.
Oh, you had a lot of balls.
And the whole place came unglued.
I like that.
And he loved it too. He said, you don't know what's in this sack. And I said, judging by the size of that dog, I think I do know what's in that sack. I said, you have Scheisse in that, and the whole place came unglued. And the guy says, my dog right outside the auditorium did his business, and that's what's in there. I said, then I know I can sell what's in that for 200 marks. Now, 200 marks at the time was about $175. Okay, so it was I'm sorry.
Dog shit,
200 marks
$25
200 marks was something like almost $300.
Oh, okay.
So he says, how would you do that? Right. I said, well, first thing is I got to know my audience. I got to find people with a garden, because I happen to know that particular poop has a lot of nitrogen, a lot of things that people with roses really need. And he just threw his hands up.
Right.
He's like, okay, guess who's getting an A this semester? Yeah, exactly. You totally understood the lesson here.
Nice. Yeah.
And
just because the bag of shit doesn't mean it's not valuable to somebody.
Someone wants that bag of shit. Yes, exactly right. That is exactly right.
Yeah.
There are piles in Texas, of
manure,
of that fertilizer and stuff. Someone is going to need that. Yep. And the more people think it's only in the rural areas, no, that's not true.
Right.
The further you get into the city, the more you need it.
Got it.
Anyway, I thought that was a funny anecdote.
Very good story.
Right?
Now we're back to your second book that also didn't sell.
Didn't sell jack. Okay. Yeah. So it shows you I do actually know how to sell. Yeah. What I needed to do was remember, okay, buddy, find your audience, which leads me to my third book, still on Amazon right now.
Okay.
When Bad Credit Happens to Good People.
Okay.
And cost me nothing. Number one, it cost me $0 to publish that book. I got it on the KDP program, Kindle Direct Publishing.
Yeah. And the people, they print it when they order it.
When they order it, or not, I give you a bonus if you won't ruin a tree. I love trees. If you won't ruin a tree and we'll read it on your Kindle, we'll read it on your iPad, I give you a bonus.
Okay.
And if you buy my book, which I'm not selling the book, but if you buy my book, every time I do an update of that book, you're going to get that update for free.
So new edition. You send it to your mailing list.
One button shoots it out. It updates. I've been updating it for probably 15 years.
That's the Kindle version.
The Kindle and iPad version. Yeah, the electronic version gets updated,
Yeah.
Not only that, I give you permission to give it to 10 friends. So you can give that book. You buy it. You give it to 10 people. I want that book as far and wide as it can possibly
Obviously,
get.
Right. It's valuable to you. It's valuable to them.
There's a lot of worksheets in there people have to buy. It was great advertising. Let me tell you something. And I hope that everyone listening to this has this moment in their life. My wife came downstairs one day to a large amount of money that wasn't in the bank account before.
Right.
That morning, a large amount of money. She came downstairs to find a very large amount of money, especially to us, waiting for her. It was like adult Christmas. You know what I mean? It was like Christmas for grown people.
Right.
Yeah. And she finally saw the man she married is not as dumb as he looks. Close.
Yeah.
But not quite. Squeaker.
That's so funny. So was that your third business, publishing, or no? Your publishing books really wasn't a business for you. It was a
I turned it into one. I did turn it into one because I started playing around with doing different book covers and stuff like that. And there's, you can go and buy a course to do all of this
psychology.
Where you go,
book cover, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you change the cover on a blank book, and people buy it. And
Right.
I've done a lot of drop shipping kind of stuff. I have a number of drop shipping businesses right now.
Okay.
COVID really taught me a very deep,
where you
hard
basically
lesson.
promote the product, they buy it, and it's almost like affiliate marketing type of a thing, right? Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I don't have to. I own six of my businesses right now are survival stores, adult entertainment and toy stores, and then kitchen and bedding.
But you don't have to take possession of any inventory. People order, boom, you get a check.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's the only way my wife would sign off on a adult toy business would be if I never touched the inventory.
Right. That's so funny. I just had a guy on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he runs a website called Blogger Nation. And what he does is how he got started in affiliate marketing, when he would find a product, let's say, that he thought he could sell, and he would just start writing blogs about it, 20, 30, 40, 50 articles, building a mailing list. Next thing you know, he's getting $1,000 in, $2,000 in. And then apparently you can sell those things when you have enough cash flow. Pay 25, 35.
Flippa is a website that you would take that to sell that, and there's tons of them up and running.
Yeah, he told
making $15,000 to $20,000 a month.
Right.
I mean, ChatGPT is about to really explode, if it hasn't already, really explode in that business. Because you can go into ChatGPT right now and turn out
AI thing where you can say,
yes.
Write me an article on,
correct,
small business owners working in Texas. And then they would.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me 1,500 words.
Right.
Give me 1,500 words on survival, top 10 survival tips.
And it'll do it. Yeah.
And it'll do it. And then you say, okay.
You're basically going to have a blog, and you can talk to your blog and say, listen, can you write an article today about this? I asked ChatGPT to write me an operating agreement, which is a skill. Like, not everybody can operate it.
Yeah.
I'm an attorney. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Wayne, I think I'm going to be obsolete. I mean, this thing.
I knew you were going to say that.
Putting letters in places. It looked like my agreement.
Yes.
It was frightening.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. So Melody Clouds.
Yeah.
I was having this argument with a group. I belong to a group called Metal.
Okay.
And it's a group of men, and it's business leaders. There are some billionaires in this group. There are plenty of millionaires. And it's a really high-speed group of guys. We were having this argument. A lot of them are very high on ChatGPT. I am not. I am like, okay, this is the end of civilization.
Exactly.
Okay. You guys are, mark my words.
All your energy and creativity goes out the window. They don't need you anymore.
The minute that you and I can have a battle between our algorithms, we may as well just push the button over and over again. It's done. Yeah. We're done. But one of the things that we were talking about in this was that very scenario. What happens when you've got two competing businesses and they get ChatGPT red hot, just putting
articles
nothing
out,
but content on the internet.
Yeah, nothing but content. Then what you have? You're putting out 1,000 articles a day, because human can't do that, but a machine could.
And by the way, who's to consume that? Who's going to consume that content? Because every time I write a blog post, I have an audience of people. Every time you do one of these podcasts,
right,
you expect an audience of human beings, not AI. Human beings are watching us right now.
Right, but what will happen is, with that much content, the search engines will just find the content, and every person who's searching for that topic will end up at your site. You don't care if anybody's consuming the stuff.
No, but you do.
Yeah,
you do because those algorithms written for search is the same problem that you have with search that we're now discovering. There are certain people that are left out of search that are more relevant than other people you find in search.
Sure.
So now someone has the dial. Someone can manipulate and weight the scale.
Things. They're like, oh, we discovered that Wayne and Mitch do this stuff, so we're going to make them less relevant to other people, and you don't get to.
Yes.
All right, let's do this, Wayne. I got to take a commercial break because these people do pay me some money. There's about 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll finish our discussion and all the great stuff that we're talking about. All right?
Awesome.
All right, hang loose there. Maybe you're getting your calendaring from one software and you're invoicing from another. Evenoo is a platform that we use as one of our sponsors to run our entire business. And there's other features like auto payments and integrations with QuickBooks. Visit evenoo.com, EVONUE.com to learn more. There's also a link in the show notes. And be sure to tell them that the Accidental Entrepreneur referred you. This podcast is brought to you by our affiliate sponsor, iEmployee. iEmployee is a virtual assistant service that hires almost anyone for any role in your company right out of the Philippines. Most roles range from $7 to $9 an hour for highly skilled and experienced VAs. And whether you need an executive assistant, social media manager, video editor, customer service, sales, you name it, they have it. We use iEmployee for our VA services, from editing and promoting the podcast to all the PR and promotion of our law firm. iEmployee acts as a virtual field supervisor on the back end with live video monitoring and reports on a daily basis with screenshots of your VA's workday, and along with complete HR and payroll duties. No more paying for overpriced and underqualified workers. There's a link in the show notes to get a 1-week free trial, and I encourage you to take advantage of it. All right, Wayne, thanks for your patience. You could hear those commercials, right, playing?
Yes. And before we get started again, I got to tell you something. I have been on network talk shows that are not as professional as what you've got going on here, Mitch. I'm sitting here going, man, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
What in the hell am I doing?
Yeah, well, I appreciate the compliment, but the guys at Riverside FM, I think there's an Israeli group. They're like 3 or 4 guys. They built this studio, and you can play those things. I made the clips, but I can play them. So I used to have the videos where I wouldn't have any of the – I don't edit videos because I'm not too good at that. So I just put them up on YouTube, just raw, us talking. Now I can play the opening, the closing, this and that. I edit the other stuff audio, but I appreciate it. That's why I switched to –
Well, the fact that you would – no. You got to understand. The fact that you would seek that out.
Yeah.
The fact that you would put together something and use the tools. See, this is what people don't understand about entrepreneurship. Okay. It's up to you on how professional you come across.
I know. I was just talking to somebody about that. But you got to put the time in at the beginning. And then it's not like, oh, you get to play golf every day because you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. No. In 20 years, you play golf every day when you're an entrepreneur. If you do it right and you put the time in. But I appreciate it. Maybe with your support, I can get Riverside to become a sponsor of the podcast. We'll see.
Well, they need to get off their ass, because I'm telling you, this is exactly if I made these tools, this is exactly, right. And this is how I would imagine.
And I can do live streaming on here, which is nice. That's why I switched to it. They can do live streaming, all kinds of they even transcribe the podcast if you want automatically, and just take the transcript.
Right. That's something about Melody Clouds. We just transcribe Melody Clouds into 210 languages.
Wow.
We have subscribers now. In 114 different countries.
Well, so that's
one thing I did not expect.
About what Melody Clouds is and how it became about and the whole thing. Yeah.
So I have a condition from my time in the military called tinnitus or tinnitus. Some people call it tinnitus. And it's a ringing in the ear. And in my case, it is a ringing. It is very loud. It makes it very hard for me to hear. And the quieter the room, it's probably why I talk so loud and why I talk so fast. So because I'm trying to drown out this sound in my head. Last year, in May, a buddy of mine called me over and said, "Hey, have you ever heard of binaural beats?"
Okay. Binaural? How do you spell that?
Binaural.
Okay.
Beats.
Okay.
I had never heard of it. And he goes, "Well, here, put these headphones on. I'm going to play some music for you."
Now, do headphones tend to make it worse for you? Or not?
What's that?
Do headphones, earbuds make it worse for you or not?
Oh, yeah. The quieter the environment, the worse I can hear the tinnitus.
Got it. Okay.
The tinnitus, whatever.
Right.
All right. So I'm listening to this, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to hear? I hear a bunch of woo-woo music. That's what I hear. Okay. And I'm not one of those woo-woo guys. Ethereal, kind of crunchy.
Right.
Nah, not that me. That's not me. So second, he goes, okay, and pushes another button, plays another track. Still, there's no banjo in this. Okay, so let's, you know what I mean?
Right.
Third track, everything is dead quiet.
Like all the tinnitus goes away?
Ringing in my ear. Say that again.
All the tinnitus goes away?
It's gone, masked. I'm telling you, I heard silence for the first time in 30 years.
Wow.
Try to get to sleep with this ringing in your ear.
I can imagine, right.
You try to have a moment with your wife, and you got this
like
blaring thing going on
in your ear while you're trying to listen to everybody else.
Exactly. You can't concentrate.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I say, what'd you say? Pardon me?
Got it.
Come again?
Can't focus.
You know what I mean?
Have you had this all your life?
Ever since getting out of the Army. I was in the 2nd Signal, but before that, I was with an engineer brigade, 8th Engineer Brigade.
Got it.
They used a device called a Miklik. It's a C4. It's a rope of C4, hits the ground, explodes, and clears mines.
So it's a little loud.
You hear enough of those, oh my God.
So it caused the ringing.
But it is awesome. If you like explosions, this is your lick, okay? Because it's really cool.
This thing damaged your eardrums, basically.
Oh, yeah, of course. And by the way, this is back in the late 80s, early 90s. This is when 3M was providing everybody with ear protection that didn't really work.
Right.
Okay, so this is, based because of my MOS, my military occupational specialty, which was 71 Lima, that's an administrative job.
Got it.
Okay, because I'm no dummy. Again, let's go over that.
Right.
I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Shoot me.
I went.
Yeah.
But I was attached to these units that did all this high speed stuff.
Got it.
So you can't tell an explosion. Oh no, I'm a 71 Lima.
Right. I'm in the office. Don't make.
Yeah, I'm in the rear with the gear.
Right.
How dare you?
You're going to hear it. Right.
Right. The Army doesn't think that way, by the way. This is horrible. Right. Any way they can do to get out of it's crazy. All right. He plays this for me. And I am weeping. I am seriously weeping. 2 days later, I buy the domain melodyclouds.com. A week later, website goes up. We are ready to release our 2nd version of the apps on iPhone and on Android. We have 18,000 audiobooks. Some people like being read to. Some people like reading. 8,000 hours of binaural beats, 8,000 hours of solfeggio, hundreds and hundreds of hours of lullabies. And I can go into why we chose to do lullabies, but they're amazing. I have a Hall of Fame disc jockey reading Aesop's fables to kids. It's my favorite thing in the whole. Gary Meyer is a stud. I've said it. I'll say it again. The stories that I thought were lost. You and we grew up Aesop's fables. You know Aesop's fables. Yeah. I couldn't find them anywhere. Something reminded me. I couldn't. No one's using these fables. No one's using these stories.
Right.
And these stories are all about teaching kids this is how life works. Fox and the grapes. The fox keeps jumping and trying to get the grapes, and when he can't do it, he walks off saying, the grapes are sour. And the lesson you learn is, hey, man, just because you can't achieve it doesn't make it bad.
Right.
Keep trying and you'll get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he presents these so brilliantly. We're putting on, it's not up yet.
And is there music in the background? Is that?
Well, okay. So the binaural beats are for, look, some people really like guided meditation and binaural beats. There's a company called Calm, very similar to doing what we do.
Yeah, they have a meditation app, right? Calm.
Yeah. Meditation, right? Guided meditation. They do some binaural beats, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
They sold themselves to Apple last March for $2.8 billion.
Good sale.
Yeah. Not bad. It's a pocket change. Now, someone said to me the other day, here's another lesson. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to listen to this lesson. It's probably the best one.
Okay.
Someone came to me and said, hey, why would I buy your app when Calm, I could get Calm? I said, I want you to walk into an In-N-Out. I want you to walk into a Fat Burger or to a Five Guys or McDonald's and ask them, why do you sell hamburgers here when every restaurant in the country has a hamburger on the menu? Now shut up and get the hell out of my face. That's a crazy thing to say.
Right.
Someone needs to tell Tommy Hilfiger to stop selling shirts. Ralph Lauren's doing that.
Somebody else is doing that, right?
Are you kidding me?
Right, there shouldn't be competition. Yeah. Now
You're
friend,
nuts.
your friend who I guess he's your business partner now, right? The binaural beats. No. So you said we.
I stole that from him. That's another lesson. An entrepreneur. No, I'm just kidding. No, but he showed me this and is sitting very close to me most of the time when I'm talking about this, going, "Damn, what did I do? Why didn't I do what you did?"
Is he a scientist? Is he an ear specialist? What is it?
No, he's my crunchiest friend. This guy
How did he know about binaural beats?
Someone had shown it to him.
Okay.
Someone, he needed help sleeping or needed help with focus or needed help with grief.
Got it. Okay.
Look, we're working with veterans groups right now. I can physically block grief. Find the right frequency for someone and you can stop their grief for brief periods of time. You can make them not feel so depressed. Now, look, it works differently on every single person.
Right.
But so does Viagra.
Well, of course.
Varying degrees of success.
Binaural beats, is it a background thing? Like if I'm listening to a book that's being read.
It's about to be a background thing. But right now, the way that it stands, yes. So here's the science behind it.
Okay.
A frequency goes in one ear. A different frequency goes in your other ear. You're wearing headphones. Different frequencies go in each ear. Your brain is an electrical appliance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And your moods are all dictated by different frequencies.
Makes sense.
Okay. Now, those electrical impulses, when you put two different frequencies in each ear, your brain has to split the difference.
Right.
Your brain has to go, whoa. Two different things. No, I'm gonna show up as 48 hertz, for example.
Okay.
That is what helps manipulate or give you the ability to take charge of your mood.
Okay.
Solfeggio works a little bit differently. 11th century monk named Guido di Arezzo, he observed, I don't say discovered, he observed solfeggio. So do you play an instrument, a musical instrument?
Not anymore, no.
See, I don't. I never have. I'm a horrible singer, right? But you and I would both know when a piano is out of tune or a guitar is out of tune, or when I sing, I'm going to be out of tune. You would recognize it immediately. That is solfeggio. Our ability to harmonize with someone who's a great singer, that to be attractive to us, or to a guitar, or to when good music that's in tune is played, that uplifts our mood or it manipulates our emotions. Okay. That is solfeggio.
Okay. Well, with binaural beats, though, you're putting different frequencies into your ear. Normally, you're putting the same frequency into your ear, right? Regular music.
Yes. Normally, there would be no overlaying track of any frequency.
Right.
So the emotional impact would come strictly from the music. Now, we put two frequencies in that track of music.
Right.
Your brain susses both of those frequencies out, but only presents one frequency. That is what helps you remain focused. You've heard the term, he's in the zone.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
He's shooting hoops or whatever. You can actually recreate that for people.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can use 741 or you can use 396 hertz to put someone in the zone, help them maintain their concentration. And
but I don't notice those frequencies, right? I just hear the music.
Right. Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah. And very shortly, Melody Clouds will be able to do this for you over any of the music that you listen to. Because right now, binaural beats, you have to license or you have to purchase music that doesn't have these beats and then put those beats over it, those frequencies over that music.
Got it.
But very shortly, I've got a technology that will allow you to listen to Taylor Swift, for example, and become more intuitive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
it's
I'm very excited about
it. Specially prepared. It's more
accessible. If you go to Melody Clouds now, there are all this music I have purchased from composers that I have placed these beats over.
Right. So that's your most recent business, though, right? Melody Clouds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. So
Yep.
we got the mortgage company, the publishing company. We had the Disgusting Messes company, we'll call it. That's my friend who has a sort of Pure Clean franchise. She said we just clean up disgusting messes, and
Right.
and then Melody Cloud. So there's a lot of other businesses in there. So give me some examples. You said 14 businesses.
Yeah. So I have, like I mentioned, an adult toy store.
Okay. Oh, some of them are affiliated businesses, right? I remember that.
And
okay.
so that toy store and I needed a way to advertise that store. See, here's another thing too. You got to think through this kind of stuff. So when COVID happened, I was working for Traveler's Choice Luggage.
Okay.
I was working for a luggage company in SEO.
Okay.
Content creation, SEO, e-commerce.
Working on their website and stuff. They're like
working on their website.
They're a luggage company and they make luggage.
They make luggage, very good luggage. And what they do is not only do they sell that luggage, but if your luggage gets lost or stolen while in an airport or with an airline, that airline contracts with Traveler's Choice, and that's what they get. That's the replacement luggage that you'll be receiving.
Okay.
So it's very good luggage.
Right.
It just, all right. So when COVID hit, of course, travel stopped.
Right.
Luggage purchases stopped.
Yep.
The owner of the company was like, whoa, what are we going to do? I got a PPP loan for him.
Okay.
Handed over the check. Told him the only thing that you can't do is lay off or fire anyone. This money is for their salaries.
Right.
Walked into work the next day with everybody else going the other direction with their box in their hand. So he kept the money and let everybody go. So I came home and I told my wife, I'm like, oh my God, I got to do something. Because, I like you asked me, I've worked for other people and I like that job. I love that job. So that day,
right.
Golf Tech, it was actually, that's one of my only failures, really. And it's on it was my fault. I contracted someone to build a website for me and I started drop shipping, golf training, not clubs and apparel,
right,
but golf training equipment, because I'm a very frustrated golfer. Okay. I love to play. I'm horrible at it. And so I wanted to get better. And by the way, I'm going to, help other people get better as well. That circled the bowl very quickly because without thinking about it, I started drop shipping things from other countries, China, Thailand, all of these different places, and shipping went, really up.
Yeah.
So my customers are all getting their product 8 weeks after they ordered
all the supply chains broke down.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So that went the way of the dodo very quickly.
But that might have been a timing issue, though, because if the pandemic hadn't hit.
I'm sure that I could have made it right. I'm sure that if I had opened it today, I now know things I did not know then.
Got it.
My survival. So it's funny because I was having some drinks with a friend of mine.
Right.
He asked me this question. What do you think the most searched term on the internet is? I said, I don't know.
Sex.
Now we're a couple gin and tonics in.
Yeah.
So I go, I don't know. It happens to be black cock. So
it's very specific.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. and it's by a long shot.
It's a good thing there's an adult podcast.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I probably should have,
Right.
You asked.
Yeah, whatever. I just guessed. I was close.
The happy ending to this is I was able to use that for Black Hawk Survival, Black Hawk Toys, Black Hawk Bedding, Black Hawk Pets. Just putting that there gave me SEO juice that is not to be believed.
Okay.
It drove search.
Even though it was a pornographic, dirty search term, you actually made it into not a dirty search term.
I had someone make me a rooster.
Perfect.
Logo.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Right.
And it looks awesome. I urge people to go look at this thing. It's freaking awesome. So I was able to turn this, in other words, that's another lesson.
Yeah,
you use something to your advantage.
Right. You twisted it and said, listen, we can twist it this way.
Put your own flavor on that.
Right. Exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll tell you what, I'd spend an hour and I got to eventually go home, but you got a lot of stories and a lot of ideas to share. How can they connect with you, interact with you, learn from you? Read
the best way I think is Melody Clouds right now. Okay. That is where I put a lot of my focus. The good news is, you were talking about this a little bit earlier, real quick. With all the automation that we have at our fingertips now. Yeah. My inventory is managed by Inventory Source. Okay. My websites, I spend the first week, 5 days, the first 5 days of every month going over and making those little changes to these websites, 14. And each one of them gets a little bit. I look at my Google Analytics and I find out where my soft spots are. And then I make changes to those. And by the way, no one needs to go in and make these massive changes to their website. Right. You make little tiny measurable changes. Right. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Right. So the first 5 days, I operate 14 businesses in the first 5 days of the month. Everything else is automated, and I have plenty of time to do this kind of stuff, see my kids, whatever, and deal with Melody Clouds. Nice. And by the way, Melody Clouds, we haven't even released the apps, and we are absolutely killing it right now. That's great. Subscription-wise. Great. Yeah, so that requires more of your attention because it's an infant business. Right now. Yep, right now. And I have another business that I'll be starting once I get comfortable that this is, really Melody Clouds is where it needs to be or is close. Yeah. I'll probably either bring someone in and manage some of this stuff, help me out, or I will start another business and just try and automate as best I can. Start another business. I mean, what do? Yeah, 14. Well, until I own them all. Yeah, there you go. Conquer the world. That concept of making small changes that has a big impact is a Japanese term. It's like Kaizen or something like that. There's been studies of all kinds of big things in life where, in cities, major cities, things that were going on, they made one little change and it made all the difference. So there's a lot. 2 times in this whole span, only 2 times, by the way, we've been doing this for months and months and months and years now. Have I ever touched something that was like a third rail, was like I made a change that a physical shock went through that business? Only 2 times. Only 2 times. Mostly it's not even noticeable. Most of them have improved, but there have been 2 times. My hair, you see my lack of hair? I pull my hair out. I don't shave my head. I pull it out. But in those 2 times, I was pulling hair out, man. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? But those are lessons learned, right? Yes. And now I know, don't touch that. Absolutely. Don't touch that. Wayne, I can't thank you enough for spending the time with me coming on the podcast. And I look forward to keeping in touch and continue to learn from you. And I'll hit the closing credits now. If you got any final closing words. People out there need to take the word out of their vocabulary. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. I personally can't hear it. So they need to take that out and you know what I mean? Maybe not now. Maybe not yet. Eventually. Sounds good. Never. We'll leave it there. All right, Wayne. Thanks. Thank you. How can you help us, though, continue to help you? First, please subscribe to the channel. Like us. If you listen to the audio version, leave us a 5-star review wherever you can. If you see our posts, please share those posts, share the content, and link back to our law firm website, which helps us to continue our SEO marketing and grow our firm and help small business owners.